Liverpool versus Arsenal at Anfield, Sunday, 4:30. Here's the truth, guys. If you want my honest truth, here's the truth. Liverpool are there for the taking. I know it's at Anfield. I know, but Liverpool, I know we've not been amazing. Like, I don't want to come here and say that we've been so swashbuckling. I'm not going to look. We kind of stat padded against Leeds. Leeds weren't great. They were good in the first half, completely folded once we started scoring goals, right? But facts are facts. We've all watched this Liverpool team. We've seen them in the Community Shield. We've seen them against Bournemouth. We've seen them against Newcastle. We know what we're watching. This is a Liverpool team that look unbalanced. You saw that against Newcastle. Against 10 men, their midfield was still getting bopped. Absolutely bullied, crushed. Then again, one can say Newcastle will do that to you. And at the end of the day, and what you're gonna get that type of game with Newcastle. That's what they do. I remember when Newcastle came to when Newcastle knocked us out the Carabao Cup, when they beat us 2-0 at our ground. Newcastle, it was literally their intention. Their intention wasn't even to play football. Their intention was to interrupt us playing. So Newcastle, they're the type of team that can do that. They're the type of team that will get stuck in and do all that sort of stuff. And it's just about disrupting flow and allowing teams to settle and build and whatnot, which fair enough, you're going to do. I was glad to see Gordon get sent off, like I said in my previous video. It's about time. Newcastle players, they do that all the time. They always play on the edge. But it's not even playing on the edge. They go a step too far, and referees never punish it in the spirit of Northern. It's just a Northern fashion. It's like, no, it's not. You're fouling players. So, anywho, let me not rant about that. Yeah, Newcastle can do that to a team, but it was for me. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd have been worried about the fact that wow, like, yo, they're legit down to 10 men, and it doesn't feel like our midfield can really get a hold of this game and dominate. I think probably where they made the extra man count was for that move. That move for the third goal was beautiful, right? Of course, they made the extra man, but it's just like passing play. That was actually good. Even the Ekitike goal, it was decent approach play by Gakpo and whatnot, but like the ball bounces, it bubbles, and then Ekitike pounces on it, goal. Gravenberg, just a moment of individual brilliance. Pounces on it, goal. But they look unbalanced. And I spoke about it before, I'm going to speak about it again. Liverpool's midfield balance does not look right. Even with McAllister, who will be a big bonus when he comes back against Bournemouth, man, I felt like I was watching Man United in that second half. The way it was so easy to cut through Liverpool on the transition, right? Obviously, Liverpool will be a different proposition with both Gravenberg and McAllister playing. Obviously, against Bournemouth, Gravenberg wasn't there. Against Newcastle, McAllister wasn't there. So I'm sure when both of these guys play, there'll be a different entity, right, as a team. And I actually feel like that may even affect Wirtz, who is clearly not playing well. Konate not playing well. Kirkes not playing well. And obviously Frimpong is injured. It looks like Bradley is injured. Let's see if he plays. But you're kind of playing Szoboszlai at right back. And though he did a great job at right back in terms of really keeping Harvey Barnes quiet, that's still it's still an unbalanced team to me, right? So I think Arsenal, if I'm the players and I'm looking at Liverpool, number one, you think, okay, cool, you got to be looking at them as the title rival. Whether people like to accept or not, I believe the title will be decided between these two teams. I do think if I'm an Arsenal player, I'm thinking, okay, cool, guys, they're there for the taking. We've not been amazing, but it's like we've got to go there and we got to make it happen. We've got to go there and really get some sort of psychological edge already. I think if I'm an Arsenal player, I'm thinking, yo, I'm coming here to win. I'm coming here to win. Now, does the win helps us in terms of, okay, it creates a 3-point advantage, but we're still only 10 games into the season. That can all get eradicated. And plus, it seems a lot of teams are still figuring themselves out. There's been actually quite a fair bit of upheaval for all of the teams. So it's kind of like a level playing field, right? In terms of the fact that everyone's bringing in new players. They're going to need time to bed in. Hence, Wirtz not playing that well. Kirkes not playing that well. Konate's been terrible. Virgil's absolute world class, at times defending by himself. Um, but if I'm Arsenal, I should look at that, be like, okay, cool. Yeah, we're only 3 games in, but why not land the psychological blow? Why not use this as an opportunity? Why not use this as an opportunity to land a psychological blow on who will be our biggest title rival, right? And in terms of us, I've already spoken about, I'm going to speak about it again. Zubamendi and Rice are going to be key. Our midfield balance, I think that's going to be key. That's going to be key. That was key against Leeds. That's what I was hoping would be the key against Man United. I just think both of them just had a poor game. First game of the season, playing against United, fair. But look, they're going to be key. And they need to play well. Because, I don't know, maybe it was United getting excited. It's a feel-good factor. We've got new signings, blah, blah, blah. Maybe them going direct, going long. Maybe us trying to adapt to a new playing style where we were really trying to make the most of the transition. It became like a basketball game, and I personally didn't think Zumendi and Rice. I don't think they protected the team well enough, and I don't think they were good in and out of possession against Old Trafford. I thought they were terrible, and that's why the team's performance suffered. That's why when they were actually a lot better against Leeds, yes, it's Leeds, the team played a lot better. And you saw a lot of the goals we scored. It's about them. It's about turnover, them turning over the ball and getting it as quick as possible to our forward players, right? And so obviously we signed Zubimendi as a 6, but it's almost like him and Rice are operating as 2 central midfielders playing behind Erdegaard, who I'm going to get to. So our midfield is going to be really, really key. I think that's where the main battle is going to be won and lost in midfield. I think if we play the way I know these guys can play, I see no reason why Arsenal can't go there and get a win. They're going to be key. And even Erdegaard playing as well. In terms of who should start, I think if Erdegaard isn't fit, we don't need to rush it. I think I'm not mad at Eze playing in that. To be honest, if I'm being honest, I'd much rather Eze play as that. I'd actually much rather Eze play as in the Erdegaard role. If he's injured and he's struggling with shoulder injury, don't force it. International break, we don't like. It's very early on in the season. Like, we don't want to do any of this stuff when players have to play through pain and stuff, and then their performances suffer. We already know that Martin Odegaard is a guy who needs to be fit, and free of niggles to play well. Why risk it? If that's me for this match, I'm saying, yo, Eze, you're the guy. The team loves you. The players love you. This is your time. I'm putting him in the 10. I'm putting him as the most advanced midfielder behind Gyökeres. And I'm going to play Martinelli to the left, right? Obviously, because Saka's injured, that's a blow. Whether we like to accept it or not, that's a huge blow. But we now have options, right? If that's me, I'm playing Martinelli to the left, right? And I'm playing Calafiori as a left back. Why do I say that? I'm just tasking Martinelli, yo, bro, you're playing against Szoboszlai, right? Just keep making runs. Just keep making runs inside. Just keep making runs. Maybe, and you and Gyökeres, what you do, you start interchanging. Because he likes to kind of veer to the left anyway. He likes that run. You start interchanging. That's what I would do, right? Obviously, Arteta will have plans. So that's me. For me, Calafiori and Martinelli needs to start. I don't think Lewis Skelly, I don't think this is the game for him to start. I think this is the game for him to come on as a sub. I would play them. And why do I say that? Because this is a game where, look, let's be honest, we're going to need to be defensively solid and we're going to need to really make our transition moments count. You've got the speed of Martinelli on the transition and the speed of Gyökeres on the transition, and you've got a transition killer like Eze. It's a no-brainer for me as to who should start, right? So I'd play those guys. And of course, Noni's going to be key as well. Noni's going to be he's going to be a big, big key. Purely because if you take on prowess and he's take on 1v1 ability, and because Kirkes has not been playing well, right? So if you look at all of these factors, Arsenal really should be coming here to win. But we know football's not that simple. At the end of the day, we're playing Liverpool, who are the Premier League champions. Yes, we're gonna need to go there and honestly go there to try and take their chain. But at the same time, there will be an element of respect, not just for Liverpool, but for Anfield. Not to mention, there's always going to be there's emotion. This is the second home game they're going to be playing with no Diogo Jota. I know knowing Liverpool, they're going to be revved up. They're going to be amped up, right? And the fearful thing about that is that sometimes team can get caught in that emotion. I didn't like what I saw at Old Trafford. I'm just thinking, bruh, like, you better pattern up, because if this is how you're playing at Old Trafford, what's going to happen when you go to Anfield? They're the champions. Whether or not we like to accept it, and our fans may think differently, the players will approach that game with a degree of respect. You got Salah, who's an efficiency king. People said, yeah, he didn't play well. He's been anonymous. True, he was anonymous against Newcastle, but guess what? He got an assist. That's what players do. And that's why him and Saka are levels above. They don't need to always play well. They just produce. They produce. They produce important moments, goals, assists. That's why they're there. That's why they're the upper echelons of wingers in the league. That's why they're world class. And you know how he likes to play against Arsenal. You know Salah. He always turns up against Arsenal. And obviously McAllister, him being there, Gravenberg, that'll be difficult. That'll make Liverpool definitely a lot more solid. And I'm not here with all of this criticism of Florian Wirtz. The guy's a baller. I've seen it with my own eyes watching Leverkusen. Yes, it's Bundesliga, but the guy's a baller. We've seen it for Germany. The guy's a baller. He just needs to adapt. He needs to adapt to the pace and the physicality of the Premier League. Obviously, Bundesliga has its own pace and physicality, but Premier League is a different entity itself. I'm sure Liverpool fans. I'm sure Liverpool fans themselves, the club, the coach are not worried about him. He's gonna come good. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the game he decides to come good, because that's just our luck. That's how stuff like this. I saw it with Firmino, like players that don't start well, but when they play against Arsenal, that's when they want to turn up, right? So I would not be surprised. He's a baller. He'll come good, but I'm definitely looking forward to that midfield battle of Rice and Zubimendi and Eze versus Eze or Erdegaard versus McAllister, Gravenberg, and Wirtz. I think, bruh, like, wow, that's going to be a good battle. So let's see. Now, in terms of predictions, I mean, the rest of the team picks itself. Gyökeres starts. Noni will start on the right. The only question marks are who's going to start on the left, who's going to start in the middle. But the rest of the team picks itself. Calafiori will start. He had a better start to the season than Miles Lewis-Skelly. Gabriel and Saliba, they pick themselves. Timber, obviously Ben White is injured, but Timber will start. Raya will start. So we don't really need to cover that. Now, in terms of final prediction, my gut is telling me this will be a draw. But my heart is telling me we should win. Tough one. You know what? Up the Arsenal. I'm going to go, nah. I just got to be honest. We should win. We should go there to win, but this is a test of the team's mentality. Are they going to go there and get it done? I'm going to go with a draw. I'm hopeful for a win. I'd love a pleasant surprise win, but I can see us drawing this like a 2-2. So let's see. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. All the best.